SpaceX. In 2001, Musk became involved with the nonprofit Mars Society. He was inspired by plans to place a growth chamber for plants on Mars and discussed funding the project himself. In October 2001, Musk traveled to Moscow with Jim Cantrell and Mike Griffin to buy refurbished intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that could send the greenhouse payloads into space. He met with companies NPO Leviathan and Cosmotras. However, Musk was seen as a novice and was even spat on by one of the Russian chief designers. The group returned to the United States empty-handed. In February 2002, the group returned to Russia to look for 3 ICBMs. They had another meeting with Cosmotras and were offered one rocket for $8 million, which Musk rejected. Musk instead decided to start a company that could build affordable rockets. With $100 million of his early fortune, Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies Corp., traded as SpaceX, in May 2002. As of 2021, he remains the company's CEO and also holds the title of Chief Engineer. SpaceX attempted its first launch of the Falcon rocket in 2006, and although the rocket failed to reach Earth orbit, it was awarded a Commercial Orbital Transportation Services Program contract from NASA later that year. After 2 more failed attempts, which reportedly caused Musk so much stress that he was waking from nightmares, screaming and in physical pain, SpaceX succeeded in launching the Falcon 1 into orbit in 2008, making it the first private liquid fuel rocket to do so. Later that year, SpaceX received a $1.6 billion Commercial Resupply Services Program contract from NASA for 12 flights of its Falcon rocket and Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station, replacing the Space Shuttle after its 2011 retirement. In 2012, the Dragon vehicle berthed with the ISS, a first for a private enterprise. Working towards its goal of reusable rockets, in 2015 SpaceX successfully landed the first stage of a Falcon 9. Landings were later achieved on an autonomous spaceport drone ship, an ocean-based recovery platform. In 2018, SpaceX launched the Falcon Heavy. The inaugural mission carried Musk's personal Tesla Roadster as a dummy payload. In 2017, SpaceX unveiled its next-generation launch vehicle and spacecraft system, Big Falcon rocket, later renamed to Starship, which would support all SpaceX launch service provider capabilities. In 2018, SpaceX announced a planned 2023 lunar circumnavigation mission, a private flight called Dear Moon Project. In 2020, SpaceX launched its first crewed flight, the Demo 2, becoming the first private company to place a person into orbit and dock a crewed spacecraft with the ISS. SpaceX began development of the Starlink constellation of low Earth orbit satellites in 2015 to provide satellite internet access, with the first 2 prototype satellites launched in February 2018. A second set of test satellites and the first large deployment of a piece of the constellation occurred in May 2019, when the first 60 operational satellites were launched. The total cost of the decade-long project to design, build, and deploy the constellation is estimated by SpaceX to be about $10 billion. The company has attracted criticism from astronomers who say Starlink's satellites are blocking the view of the skies, and from experts arguing that they risk colliding and causing dangers in space. Musk rejected the criticism, stating that the impact of satellites is nothing, and that space is just extremely enormous, and satellites are very tiny.